Do you want to build a snowman? Come on, let's go and play. What am I saying? None of us wants to build a snowman, you guys. It is freezing across the entire country. We have cold, cold weather. I thought I could do a large musical number. I just can't today. It's too cold. It's cold in my house. It's cold outside. But you know what is happening today? I don't want to build a snowman, but I want to make a fantastic sunny cocktail. I want to talk to Gary and Dawn from Sandals and Beaches Resort, and I want to celebrate Random Acts of Kindness Day with each and every one of you. So welcome to KHM today. My name is Carolyn, or your host, not to be confused with Olaf. Yes, don't look at me like you guys don't own the same onesie. But I am so excited to be here with all of you today, despite the cold. We have had such an amazing week at KHM today. Not just today, but this whole week. Because we celebrated our agents with our agent award ceremony on Monday. Congratulations to all the nominees and the winners. It just truly is a gift to have each and every one of you as part of the KHM team. And today I get to spend an incredible hour with some fantastic guests. But before we go any further, please help me welcome Chantelle and I with our headlines. Chantelle.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Olaf. Oh, I just love you. You're my favorite character.
I know you own one of these too.
Secretly, I do. Yes. Hello, agents. Good afternoon. Welcome. I hope you're staying warm. Like all of us, like Carolyn said, we're all freezing. But let's go to the headlines. So the first headline we have, and we just want to pray for the family of Arne Sorensen. Marriott's international CEO did pass away at age 62 of pancreatic cancer. He actually oversaw the acquisition of Starwood Hotels and Resorts. That was a $13 billion acquisition. So we just want to pray for his family, and we are so sorry for their loss. Next in the headlines, Hawaii. Back in the headlines, Hawaii is beginning a pilot program next week with a biometrics company, actually tomorrow, they're starting tomorrow, with a biometrics company called Clear in hopes of streamlining entry. Wouldn't that be fantastic? I don't know if anybody else's head is spinning on what you need to do. The pilot will first be deployed on the 18th. And it's used by more than 35 organizations in other sectors, including MGM Resorts, the National Hockey League, Bill Coyle, and the Orlando Magic. So we hope that this is a good thing for the future. Our next headline. Unfortunately, there is no timeline for reopening the Cayman Islands. According to the Premier Alden McLaughlin, the goal to reopening is actually hinged on getting enough people vaccinated, but he said the greater challenge is to try to get all of his residents vaccinated. And this not only impacts people who want to travel to the Caymans for a vacation, but also the cruise industry, because we all know that Grand Cayman is one of the ports of call. So we just need to pray for that situation, and hopefully that will open sooner than later. And our last headline, it is 5 o'clock somewhere. Did you know that there is a Margaritaville in Times Square? Margaritaville Resorts in Times Square, planning on opening in March. Another article said late spring, so you know how this rolls. We'll just kind of wait and see. It is going to be Times Square and 560 7th Avenue, 234 rooms, 29 stories tall, a heated pool year-round, the only heated pool in Times Square. So again, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Beth Klubnik, I'm sure she's making her reservations right now. That's it for the headlines. Back to you, Olaf. I mean, Carolyn.
Thank you, Chantelle. I love that. I can't wait to visit that resort. That will be a lot of fun in Times Square.
Me too.
You guys, next up, we are so excited to welcome Hannah Butler to KHM today. Hannah is the commission manager at KHM. And I hear some background. Sorry about that, guys. There's a little bit of feedback. Hannah, thank you so much for joining us. I know these days are challenging.
No, I'm excited. It's still quiet in my house, so I'm excited. I'm going to take it. So I'm so excited to join.
Can you share with everyone what your role is at KHM and why agents might need to reach out to you?
Actually, I'm going to kind of share what the whole team commissions does to reach out to us, because there's a few of us that can handle anything with anybody with questions or situations. So of course, we handle all the supplier statements. So that means we process all those in the CRM, and we confirm that we actually have the money, either a check or EFT. We handle unclaimed bookings. So, you know, agents, get your bookings in so we don't have that account big and growing. We pay commissions weekly, so I know that's always exciting. We manage the commissions corner section in the KHM Travel Insider. We try to give little tips of reminders. We also help with the basic needs of the CRM. So of course, you know, adding those trips, bookings, you have to do that to get paid. But the CRM's a beast. So we have multiple departments that help in that. And then of course, we're here to help with any questions, commissions, concerns, statuses. Also, we forward any supplier confirmations that come in, mainly cruise confirmations, but we do get some from Sandals and ALG, Disney. We handle all bonus commission certificates. We handle 1099s, NEC. Those all went out already for 2020. Thank you, everybody who had the little hiccup. Couldn't end 2020 on a good note. Any commission recalls, contact us. That's been huge because of COVID. Supplier payments come to us. That's when a client doesn't want to pay by a credit card. Then in turns, client refunds, which was high last year and is still continuing. And any reporting needs, we can help. And then, of course, on my side, I do a lot on the inside for our company and get all the reports that are shared throughout for all the agents to know what's going on in our top 30 and the awards and stuff, which was exciting this past Monday.
Yeah, that's great. Well, normally we'll sit and play a fun game so that we can get to know you better. But since it's Random Act of Kindness Day, I'm not going to subject you to that punishment. But we are going to give a random act of kindness to 10 lucky people on our call today. So Jeff Cox has approved 10 bonus commission certificates for us to give away today. So would you please pick 5 numbers between 1 and 142?
Oh, okay. I'm going to go with 3. That's my volleyball number. Have to go with that. 7, 92,
Ooh.
123, and did you say 142?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to do 142.
All right. And I'm going to pick the last 5 numbers. And you guys, Chantelle is busy in the background counting each one of you because there's no easier way to do it. So we will announce the winners at the end of the program. So I'm going to pick 10, 12, 96, 138, and number 1. So those will be our winners today. So we'll announce those at the end of the show. Hannah, thank you for being here. I know you have a kiddo to get off the bus, so we really appreciate the time that you've taken to be here today. Everyone at KHM is so amazing, and the commissions team has just done so much the last year. You're always doing a lot, but this last year has just been extra crazy. So we thank you for so much of your time and effort.
Well, thank you so much. And again, thank you for having me. And it's good to have everybody on. So thanks. Take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, you guys. So part of the purpose of this show is to be timely and relevant. And over the last couple of weeks, we saw some changes once again in the industry when it came to the cruise lines and sailing to Alaska. So we have, for Matt's Compass today, we're pointing north, and Matt and Chantelle are going to share with us ways that we can explore Alaska. Welcome, guys.
Hi, Carolyn.
Hello.
So a week or so ago, Canada said, we don't really want you guys stopping in our ports of call for the next year or so. Matt, can you give us a little bit of a background on what this means and how this came about?
Yeah, so this was a big blow to the traditional cruise lines. And a lot of people are wondering why. This is a Canadian, decision that was made. Alaska is part of the United States, so why does this affect us? The reason is there's a law on the books in the United States that says if your ship was foreign, I'll say foreign born or foreign built, and the staff is not American, then before you return to the US, you need to stop in at least one foreign port. So typically for Alaska, that means we're stopping on Victoria or Vancouver. So with that news, it really, like I said, was a big blow to the traditional cruise lines. They're trying to find if there's other ways around it. But in the meantime, Chantelle and I have found some other ways around it and ways to get your clients to Alaska if they still want to go this year.
Awesome. So the cruise lines have said, hey guys, if you can hold on to these bookings, we're trying to find solutions. But if your clients don't want to do that and they still want to go to Alaska and explore by land, what are their options, Matt?
So yeah, there's a few different options. The first one is expedition cruising. So this is small ship cruising. They don't they're under that law because they have built their ships in the US. They have an American crew. Now you want to set your expectations right with your clients because this is a way different experience than traditional cruising. It's up close and personal. It's typically less than 200 people on board the ship. Sometimes there's even less than 100 people. It's just a very different experience. It's going to be great though for your river cruise clients. They're going to love it. Or for your clients that have never been on a cruise and maybe they said they'd never go on a cruise. Let them know this is a completely different experience. It doesn't have the big entertainment that you find on the bigger ships. It's more about the destination than it is the ships. Although the ships are still very nice, but do your research and figure out which clients might fit for this style of cruising. And then the other option is small groups. So a lot of the traditional tour companies that would typically have 40 people or more on a big bus, well, they've cut those numbers in half. So they've capped at 20. There are other options for suppliers that typically have from 12 to 16. And these small group tours, they include lodging, they include meals, at least some meals. They typically always include breakfast. Do your research though, because some provide lunch and dinner as well. They'll include excursions. They'll include transportation within Alaska. And they also have options that are geared towards adults as well as families. So that's another great option for those who want to save a bit of money and do a small group tour. And then finally, there's FIT. These are custom itineraries that you build from your clients. You may need to use different suppliers to put this together for Alaska, but there are suppliers that offer self-driving tours, or you can travel by rail. There are puddle jumper flights as well available if you clients want to go to some remote areas and don't want to drive or go by rail. The books can be, the hotels can be booked separately. Check out a site, getting back to that transportation piece, because this is something you might have to piece together from different suppliers to make it happen for your clients. But there's a really good site that I want to tell you about, and it's called Rome to Rio. It's the number 2, Rome to Rio.com. And it's really good for places like Alaska where you don't really know how to get around. It's going to tell you if there are ferries that you can take, if there's little flights you can take, how long it's going to take to get there by car, how do you do it if you want to go by train. It's just a really good, valuable site and a research tool for you so that when your clients come to you, you have the information to tell them how they can get around Alaska in a custom itinerary like this just for their family.
Awesome. So Chantelle, you are the queen of all things supplier related. You know that supplier list, I feel like the back of your hand. You had to do some extra digging in order to find suppliers that could provide some of these services. You have compiled an incredible document for agents. And guys, this is in the handout section of GoToMeeting, or if you are a KHM agent, you'll be able to find it in the portal page on my travel agent portal for KHM today. An incredible resource. Can you just talk a little bit about what you've put together and why?
Absolutely. So when we all got the news about cruising, what were all of our thoughts? What in the world are we going to do? I saw it all over Facebook. I was thinking it myself. Our whole team worked to compile this list of suppliers. You guys, look at all of these suppliers. These are going to do land only. We do have, so let me start from the top. All of the suppliers at the top are located in our portal. They all have a portal page. Because again, what are we doing? We're pivoting. We're pivoting from the cruise lines. We got a little spoiled with the cruise tours because they had everything planned for us, right? Well, now what are we going to do? So at the top, it'll say, these are found in the KHM portal. They all have a page. In the middle, you're going to see suppliers that we are registered with, but may not be in our portal. For example, Authentic Vacations, Natural Habitat, National Geographic, Princess Lodges. Princess Cruise Line has a separate company called Princess Lodges that will just book their land properties. However, when I called last week to double check, because I just wanted to make sure, the only one that they could book right now was the Kenai Princess. Now, he said, I'm not sure what's going on. Everything's on hold. So you need to keep checking back with us. But they do land, they do their lodges, they do rail, they do all kinds of different things. So you just need to keep checking back with that. And then at the bottom, there are 3 cruise lines that are not affected by the order. We have American Cruise Line, we have Uncruise Adventures, and we also have a Lindblad Expeditions. Lindblad, you can book them. We are registered with them. 10% commission, contact agent support for them to help you. You can also, there are a lot of in conjunction with National Geographic as well. But I was so excited to put this together, and I wanted our team to look at this and help. What am I thinking? Did I leave anything out? Because everyone is thinking, what are we going to do? Well, now we have suppliers. We have ways to do this.
Thanks, Chantelle, and thanks so much for all the hard work you and Matt put into putting that together. I mean, it was not easy, and it's a little bit of a cheat sheet for everyone. So agents, I think the best thing to remember is use the resources that KHM is giving to you, the supplier list, this handout, and of course, search the Facebook page. A lot of people have posted some really great resources, contact information. And I do want to point out, we do have on the next slide, I know Chantelle, understand the enormity of Alaska and the geography of it, and really talk to your clients about the best way for them to see it based on the places that they want to see. But just hopping in a car might not be for everyone. A tour might be the fit that's going to hit the most points.
I really feel, and Matt and Carolyn, you tell me, I personally feel that Alaska is a destination that you want to use a supplier that is experienced and knows this destination. Just like Africa, I wouldn't go on Vax and book an Africa trip. I wouldn't go on Vax and book an Asia trip. I wouldn't go on Vax to book an Alaska trip personally, because there's so much involved in it. So getting to know this state and the vastness, I was so glad that I was able to host a Princess Cruise tour back when I worked at AAA. I had sold Alaska cruise tours. I could tell people, on paper what to expect, but when you're actually there and you're driving, the distances, it could be 4 to 5 hours one way. It could be a 9-hour train trip going from Denali all the way down to Whittier. Do your clients know that? Would that bother them? Maybe they only want a short train ride. So go to this travelalaska.com is their tourism site. That's where you're going to find all the COVID information, what you need to do to get to Alaska, testing and everything. But this map is on there. Download it, print it off, send it to your clients, learn about this destination really before you talk to your clients so you are informed, and then call these suppliers, the Alaskan Railroad, rail bookers. You know, if you want companies, I have, these are all my notes of everything that we were talking about. We have something for everybody. So I just want to encourage you, learn about this destination because it is magnificent.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Let me just say one last thing, and to Chantelle's point as well. You don't want to get, your clients don't want to get lost in Alaska. It's like, right? A lot of people don't realize because the way that it appears on the map. But I want to say one thing. We just gave you a lot of really good information. Now I have a challenge for you. Take the information we gave you and go send an e-blast out to your clients about it and the options they have to go to Alaska. If you're a KHM agent, you can do this within the CRM. There's a built-in e-blast tool. It's really simple to use. Now is the time that you want to inspire and get your clients booking their trip to Alaska.
Awesome. Thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you.
So we're going to switch gears from the cold to the warm. And I can't think of two people that scream warmth and romance more than Don Bolte and Gary Sadler from Sandals and Beaches Resorts. Gary is the Vice President of Sales, and Don is the Business Development Manager for KHM Travel Group. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Gary, it's just so nice. Like when you hear that voice, it just transports you. We don't even have to go anywhere. We just have to listen to you talk for the next 10 or 15 minutes.
Well, I was hoping you'd give me an hour to talk, because then that way I can just keep going on and on and on.
I'll give you the phone book. You can read a story.
There you go.
We are so thankful to have you both here as our industry experts today. Can you share with me, Valentine's was this weekend. Did either of you do anything special to celebrate the occasion?
Of course. I mean, I'm always in love. So, you know, it just makes it easy and it just makes it wonderful. And, you know, with the restaurants closing and, you know, this pandemic bringing about a challenge that you have to think creatively. So it was a matter of thinking creatively, but it was a matter of spending the time with someone that you love. Yes.
And Dawn?
We actually are pretty open here where I live. So restaurants were open. I went out to dinner. We actually got a nice little bit of snow. Gary, I know you're jealous of that. Got a little bit of snow. People around here were even building igloos, and they came up. There were actually people here locally that were having bonfires and building igloos to have romantic things. Not that I was in an igloo, but no, we did a lot of fun things this past weekend.
So your answers truly speak to the idea of customization, and that romance means something to each and every one of us. And it's a lot of times it's different. And so that's one thing that I think truly makes a great travel advisor is someone who doesn't just say, here you go. It's let me customize this for you. Here are your options. This is what I think would work great for you. So how does Sandals listen to the consumer and make improvements based on that feedback?
Well, first of all, Carolyn, I want to thank all the travel advisors for all their support. I mean, there is no way that we could be on today to talk about what the vacation experience or Sandals Resorts, Sandals and Beaches Resorts, without the expressing the unwavering appreciation to all the travel advisors out there. You have been a stalwart. You have supported us tremendously, and we really, really, truly appreciate it. The difference with Sandals and Beaches Resorts, as we take customization very, very simply. And very simply because it's what we do every single day. What is it that the guest want? What is it that the customer is looking for? What is it that is going to make the customer excited? What is it that is going to be the best experience for the customer? So for example, if you have a customer who enjoys golfing, who wants a beach vacation, there is no other resort that you can send them to except You know, you have Sandals Emerald Bay in Great Exuma, the Bahamas, with a Greg Norman designed golf course, and you have Sandals Ochi Beach Resort. We also have in St. Lucia 3 hotels, and you have a fully designed executive golf course, and you also have an 18-hole golf course. So, you know, you have to first of all establish what is it that the customer is truly desiring of, and then once you have that, then it will make a big difference. But the fundamental process, which is the advice that I would give to every advisor that's out there, you have to know what you're talking about. You have to be able to share your experiences. You know, I mean, oftentimes, you know, travel advisors say to me, well, how do I reach the customer? How do I tell the customer? Well, the first thing you have to tell the customer is that I have been there. I have been there, I have seen it, and I have done it. That in itself brings it to a level that the customer is now comfortable. So we start at Sandals Resorts by suggesting to everyone that what you have to do is that you as the advisor have to play the role of the advisor. You can't be unsure, you know, and I go back and compare, you know, one's life to a dentist. Can you imagine you walking into a dentist office and the dentist says, well, I'm not sure. What do you think? I mean, you have to be the one in authority, and you have to take control of the situation. And once you do that, then it's all uphill from there.
Yeah. What you speak says exactly what Matt and Chantelle were just saying. Educate yourself and listen to what your client is asking for. If they can't cruise, what else is important to them? So you spoke totally to that concept. John? Oh. I think you're muted.
There we go. Okay, the whole qualification process with a client, I like to call it deal breakers. You know, I come from, Gary knows this, I come from a huge family, and I'm the second oldest of 30-something grandkids on one of my families, and all my cousins come to me and say, you know, oh, what Sandals is the best? What beaches, you know, or they might ask a KHM travel advisor, oh, what's your favorite vacation? Well, it really isn't about us. It's about them, right? So I like to always ask, what are your deal breakers? What do you need to get out of this vacation? And something that a travel advisor can do that really sets themselves apart from the internet or the travel advisor down the street is ask very serious questions, get to know the client. What do you want to come out of this vacation? And be able to tell your friends and family, oh my goodness, I did this. And as Gary mentioned, you know, whether it's golfing or it's adventure or it's relaxation, obviously there's so many great products out there. You know, I've been with Sandals. I've been with the Sandals at this point for going on 22 years. And I've got to say, there's nothing like seeing a couple on the beach having that romantic private candlelit dinner, or going to the Red Lane Spa and getting that sense of love couples massage or something like that. And a travel advisor can customize a package. You know, when they qualify their client, they find out what the deal breakers are, what experiences would make this trip just extra special, and they incorporate those things from the very beginning in the package price. That's what truly sets that travel advisor apart. They thought about those things, they incorporate them. They didn't just quote a land and an air ticket price. You know, the internet can do that. But the travel advisor, by customizing that package, learning more about the client, that is really what sets them apart. You know, and you know, Gary and I are both so proud to work for Sandals and Beaches and give those options for customization. And I have to throw it in that by all means, those things are always 10% commissionable on top of the regular commission. So that's an extra perk, you know, money in your pocket. But those are great ways to set yourself apart as a travel advisor when it comes to customization.
Well, and adding it in from the get-go instead of having, you can always take it away. But boy, exactly. You don't want them to get there and go, wait a second, there are butlers? What do those do?
I didn't know that existed. Or you don't want the client to, like you said, get there and never be told about these opportunities. And then the travel advisor have even missed out on selling it in advance. So it's really good. And again, that doing it from the very beginning is what sets you apart from other travel advisors out there, and certainly setting you apart from the internet.
John, we spoke a week ago or so with our pre-show call, and one of the things that we've chatted with all of our industry experts about the last couple of weeks is that pivot that our businesses have had to make. Was there a pivot that Sandals and Beaches needed to make? in order to, well, as a result of COVID in March and extending through, a year now.
Absolutely. I mean, I'll talk from the sales team, but I want to turn that over to Gary because Gary was the mastermind behind this a year ago. When March came around and things started, going crazy, Gary, I mean, I've got to tell you, Gary was like the first one to get the team together and put us in the right direction. So I'm going to throw that over to Gary for a second.
Oh, thanks, Dawn. That was the easy one. She makes my life so tough. Now, it is important. It is important that we've had to pivot. I mean, we recognize as an organization from the get-go that is this pandemic going to last a month? Okay, I think it's 2 months. I think it's 3 months, and nobody, I think, in the world would have imagined that we would be where we are today. So yes, it was fundamental for us to think differently, for us to work, and we have, and I will pay credit to the team of extremely dynamic BDMs that we have, the BDMs that are out there, led by my colleague Garth Laird, with support from folks like Don Bolte, who is a director in the Midwest. But all of our BDMs had to move from how do we do traditional gatherings, such as regular fam trips as you know them, VIP nights, VIP experiences, and all the in-person bridal shows and all the shows, to now something that is completely different, which is all virtual, which is all, it was at the time all virtual because simply that all the borders were closed. Governments weren't allowing people to enter the countries, throughout the Caribbean, and airlines weren't sure what they were going to do. So we had to maintain a presence. And if you talk about, pivoting and managing your way through this, at Sandals Resorts, we actually kept our sales team in place. We recognize the fundamental value of what the travel advisor means pre-pandemic, during the pandemic, and post-pandemic. We recognize the value of what that travel advisor is all about. And at the end of the day, we had that team set in place to continue to work. So my advice, as you created that opening for me, is that if you want to be successful, you have to find a partner with which to work. And a partner such as Sandals Resorts, I would say to every travel advisor, you reach out to your business development managers. There are programs that we have in place, such as Back to the Beach, where we have selected agents that go down to the resorts. We have webinars. We have all kind of training programs that we have put in place because it's A, about education, B, about having the knowledge, and C, it's the experience that you need to say that you have been there in order to make it happen. And then as far as the support in the marketplace is concerned, I mean, even during these challenging times, you turn on your television and you see a Sandals commercial. I mean, as cold as it is in Colorado, one of the exciting things that you probably suffer from it, you say, boy, I can't deal with Dawn and Gary today because look at how that beautiful beach is. But that's what is going to get the customer back. That is what is going to build the customer confidence. And once we have that customer confidence, the travel agent's knowledge, the travel advisor's knowledge, and the BDM's support, the BDM that has the knowledge to work with you, then it means that, I mean, things are going to be great moving forward. So we had to make the change. We had to transition. We were, there was a point of being reactive, and then you have to get proactive. And that transition took place during that time. But there were many lessons to be learned. And there are still lessons. There are still lessons
right,
that we're learning.
Right. And Dawn, I feel like Sandals has always done marketing to the nth degree, right? I mean, it's always been at the top of the game. And it seems like almost the last 8 months or so, it's doubled in that with the Back to the Beach and just encouraging agents to do all this virtual stuff. I mean, we had agents that were down there with you and got bookings because of it.
You're muted.
As you and I talked, we just got an ice storm, so my
No
Wi-Fi
problem.
goes in and out. But we, Carolyn, as you and I talked about last week, Gary mentioned the Back to the Beach. We typically in first quarter, it's all about bridal shows, golf shows, home and garden shows, things like that, right? So, as Gary mentioned, we had to pivot, we had to change our marketing plan, we had to also navigate our, as Gary said, we left our sales team intact. sales team was left intact. So instead of being able to go out and make 8 sales calls a day or do these big in-person events, we had to pivot. And one of the big things we did in first quarter so far was this Back to the Beach, which incorporated bringing key travel advisors down on resort in tandem with the BDM, but better yet, doing virtual experiences to touch the consumers. So we accomplished 3 things in one event. And it's working. And just like what you said, Carolyn, KHM had travel advisors on those events so far, and we just in the past 2 days announced we're going to do a round 2. So I invite the KHM travel advisors to touch base with their local BDMs and make that strong connection. Let's put a marketing plan together to get back down a resort. It used to be pre-COVID, clients wanted to hear, where have you been and what do you recommend? Now they want to hear, it's safe, it's easy to get here. So there's nothing better than the BDM, the KHM travel advisor, going live on a virtual VIP experience right from Jamaica or St. Lucia or whatever the destination is, and saying, look, I'm here. The protocols were easy. We're all enjoying great dining and the beach and the warm air. I mean, it's working, and the numbers. I actually literally to transition into this event right now, I got off of another call where we were going through some stats and some really good businesses coming out of the event. So that's how we were able to pivot first quarter to absolutely make use of our resources, of our sales team, of the resorts, and partner with our travel advisors. And we do anticipate those things, going down the line here in 2021. As Gary said, we just had to, quickly turn. We had to become, we changed gears from being reactive to proactive. And that was the key pivoting point. That was our way of doing it.
I'm always so curious because we've spoken to so many people over the last year in different businesses and travel, and they've all said that there has been this thing that they've changed, right? They didn't have a choice but to change the way they did it, this protocol or something like that, this way of doing business. Was there something that you guys either did personally within your roles that you were like, I kind of like this, let's keep it around, or this makes more sense than the way we were doing it?
Well, I mean, one example is this. One example is this webinar. One example is this virtual presentation, because at the end of the day, we had to maintain a presence, not because we just wanted to maintain a presence. We had to find creative ways to be in touch with our travel advisors, to be engaged in our travel advisors. So there are multiple things that you would want to do, but the key to it is a real engagement. I mean, we have an elite group of travel advisors called our Chairman's Royal Club, which is our top tier travel advisors. And I want to pay tribute to one of your travel advisors, Ryan Tren. He has been a stalwart, and every single month, religiously, we're on calls developing new ways to grow business, new ways to say, hey, these are the trends in the industry, these are the challenges in the industry. And from the advice that we get from people like Ryan Trent, and many of your other advisors who are on this presentation today, we were able to look into how do we make it better for the travel advisor, because that's really what it is about. I mean, we can sit in Jamaica, we can sit anywhere in the world, and we can come up with all these great solutions and things of that nature. But unless you're really talking to the travel advisor, who is the customer, and you're saying, hey, what is it that you need? What is it that I can do to make your life easier? Then you'll never get anywhere with it. So that's my real advice and counsel to anyone.
Don, anything to add? Perfect. He said it all. Chantelle, do we have any questions for the two of them?
Let's see. I'm sorry.
And if not, we can email them over to them if they're specific to their client or their needs.
Jamie Turner says, I was just at Beaches, Turks and Caicos a few weeks ago with my BDM doing a Zoom event, and a client saw me there, contacted me last week to book a 3-bedroom villa for this April. They wanted and needed something to look forward to. It was the Back to the Beach event.
That's exactly how that works. Yes, I love it. Thank you.
Yep, exactly. Gillette would like to know, do you have a certificate program on sandals and beaches?
We do have our certified sandals specialist program, which we put on pause in 2020 because we used to do them completely in person, in ballrooms and things like that. We are
Right.
currently in the process of revamping that certification for 2021. Gary has definitely led the team on, again, pivoting to accommodate everything that we need to do in 2020 to make that happen. So we'll have updates very shortly.
And the minute that we have it, we'll be sharing it with everyone. And I promise you, all the travel advisors, just wait and see. But you want to be in touch with your BDM because they're the ones who will be able to give you the information for starters. And Carolyn, I just had to mention that what we're finding right across the board is that the top suites. You talk about that 3-bedroom that was sold for April. A lot of customers right now, I mean, they're taking the top suites at all of the resorts. I mean, the butler service has become something that is paramount. Right now, people are excited about it. The average customer isn't booking a regular room because they want to be pampered. They want to feel as if they're getting something different and something special. So selling up to the customer is always good. And remember that the more you sell up is the more commission that you will make. So at the end of the day, it's also for you as a travel advisor, how do you survive in this travel business moving forward?
And I think space too, space away from others is also a trend that we're seeing. And so they're willing to pay that little bit more, that much more to have their own almost residence, as opposed to being one room next to the other.
Are you talking about social distancing? I mean, is that the new term? I mean,
yes, but vacation distancing as well.
Vacation distancing. But
distancing.
I'll tell you something. I was just at Sandals South Coast last week, and I was lucky enough to get one of the rendezvous, but which is the top end rooms that we have at the resort that just opened in December of last year. And you have so much privacy and it's personal because you have your butler. And I literally, I mean, and it's only because I was working, right? This wasn't a vacation, this was work. I mean, it's so hard on me to have to go to the resorts to work. But the truth of the matter is that I had breakfast on my patio. I had lunch on my patio. I could walk to the beach, and if I wanted to have dinner on my patio, just sitting by the swimming pool, I could have done so too. So the experience of being in Jamaica and being at Sandals South Coast on a property that is on it's 500 acres of land. I walked the beach and never really bumped into anybody if I didn't want to. So that is an experience that people need to share. And people need to recognize that Sandals just naturally gives. I mean, this is not even something that we're doing new. This is just how we are, and it makes a big difference.
Thank you both so much for being here. It has been an absolute joy. If you don't mind, I'd love to have you stay on for just another minute or two because Dawn was so fantastic. One of my favorite things that we have done in the last 7 weeks of this show is bring you guys KHM at home. And you have watched me cook, craft cocktails. I don't know if craft's the right adjective, but I've tried to craft cocktails. I've done a little crafting. And this week, Amanda Bailey from marketing took on the Jamaican Smile, which is a drink that you can find at Sandals Resorts. And the video will be posted in the portal page for KHM today. It is hilarious. She did a great job. The recipe is also available in the handout section of GoToWebinar if you want to make this at home. And my favorite part of the video, you guys, is when she tries to justify the drink is healthy because it has a whole banana in it. So enjoy, take that drink and pretend you're on the beaches of Turks and Caicos or Jamaica and just kick back and relax sometime soon, even if it's snowing outside. But thank you both so much for your partnership. John, thank you for getting us the recipe to help us feel like we are there. And we hope that you'll come back and visit us again soon.
No problem. And the drink is calorie free for those of you who aren't sure. I promise.
That's absolutely right. There are no calories during COVID. Thank you both so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, man,
Thank you.
You guys, we are so blessed at KHM Travel Group to have a sales guru who has so many great tips for us. So please help me welcome Tim Smith, who is going to give us his tip of the week. Welcome, Tim.
Hi, everybody. How you doing? Oh my gosh, it's so exciting to be able to talk to a couple hundred people. And this information that you guys just heard was just some really cool stuff. So I got things that I've been doing. I've probably trained about 500 or 600 salespeople in my lifetime, and I've kind of picked up little things all along the way that have been just great. So is this coming through, Carolyn?
This is great. You sound wonderful.
Oh, okay, because there's said slow connection on my computer. But one of the things I wanted to cover, and I've been doing this for about 20 years now, is taking a successful person to lunch. And I'll talk to business people who run nonprofits, successful people out in the community. And I'll say, if I go to try and set up an appointment with them, it's pretty hard sometimes because they're so busy, okay? But if I say, hey, I'm going to take you to lunch, well, then all of a sudden, because they do get hungry and they have to eat, they'll set up an appointment or a time to go to lunch with me. But if you try to set up an appointment at their office, they'll kind of be vague, like, well, maybe next week or next quarter or next summer or sometime, all right? But lunch, that's a whole nother category. So the first step I do is I find out what is their favorite restaurant. You know, people like to go to where they feel the most comfortable. And if they got a favorite restaurant, one big account that I got when I was younger is I found out Carrabba's was this guy's favorite restaurant. And so I said, oh, by the way, I'm going to be in town. I'd like to take you to lunch at Carrabba's. And he goes, do you know, Tim, that's my favorite restaurant. And I'm like, surprise, surprise. Of course, I knew it was his favorite restaurant because I've been talking to his people and they told me that. So you got the appointment to go to lunch with them. And number one, be on time. You know, get there early, make sure, you know, there's no traffic, all that kind of stuff. It's a lot easier to get there a lot earlier than to be a little bit late because they are busy and they don't have that much time. And then, oh my gosh, please turn off your phone. I can't believe how many meetings I've been in, phone rings and the people are like, oh, excuse me, can I take this? And I'm thinking, no, you're with a really successful person. Why would you ever take a phone call during something like that? Why would you even have your phone on? You know, so turn your phone off. And when I get there early, I like to talk to the waitress or waiter that's going to be waiting on us. And I like to say, hey, here's my tip ahead of time. Very generous tip, by the way. And I said, you know, I'm going to meet with a VIP today. And boy, I'd really like it if you gave us like a little bit of extra attention. Oh, by the way, my name is Tim Smith. So they come to the table and they're like, Mr. Smith, it's so good to see you today. You know, who did you bring with you? You know, and you just get that little extra service. All right. And then you're there to find out information from them. You're not there to talk about the travel business. Okay. If that comes up, great. If it doesn't come up, great. But you want to get information from them because you want to develop that relationship with this successful person for the people that they know and the people that might see you talking to this successful person. Yeah, I've had people come up to me later and go, oh, do you know so-and-so? And I go, yeah, I do. And they go, oh, wow. And so, you know, it builds your credibility too. So then when you're with them, you're going to be asking them questions. I always bring a notebook with me, but I don't, I ask them if I could take notes while we're talking. And it's like a compliment to them if they go, well, sure, you can take notes. Like, oh my gosh, he thinks what I'm going to say or she thinks what I'm going to say is important. All right. And then remember, 2 ears, okay, 1 mouth. That's about the percentage time that you should be using those. All right. And if you do that really good, you're going to get a lot of information. So then when you ask a question, this is so important. And I've seen this go wrong so many times. When you ask a question, shut up. Just shut up. I've seen so many salespeople that ask a question and then they'll keep talking. And I'm like, let the person answer. And when they're answering, don't interrupt them. or go, oh, I know what you mean, and then go off on some tangent, all right? And of course, you're picking up the tab because you got there ahead of time and you told the waitress, by the way, I'm paying for this, so don't bring me a bill. You know, just I'll pay for this after it's over. That way you don't have that awkward moment where the person comes, it's like, who's paying? Well, the successful person, sometimes people say the successful person should be paying. And I go, no, 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 no. You got to be paying the bill because, you know, you want them to know that you're there for them, not because they're successful or have a lot of money. And then be respectful of their time. This is one of the last things is you just have that period of time, you know, make sure you can see your watch if you can. And when it gets to the time to go, especially if they tend to look at their watch, then that gives you a clue. Okay, they're busy, they got to get going, and then cut it off right there. After it's all over, send them a thank you note. Especially if you did talk about travel, because if you talked about travel, then find a wonderful picture of whatever they talked about and then send that to them. And, you know, next time they think they're going to go on a trip, guess who they're going to think about? They're going to think about you. So that's my random act of kindness for this month.
Well, and maybe it's not so random. It could be very, very intentional, and that's okay as well. BDMs, you know, great clients that you've had, we can learn something from just about every person we know. So thank you so much. That was great. You guys be sure to tune into Tim's webinar next, I think it's Monday, February 22nd at 2 p.m.
2 o'clock. And it's
Awesome.
how to make $100 an hour or $10 every time you pick up the phone.
Perfect. Tim, thank you so much for joining us.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Good talking to you. Bye.
Chantelle, do you have some winners for us for our bonus commission?
I do, and my eyes have just now uncrossed from looking at those little names. Okay, so we'll do Hannah's first. Number 3, Allison Peterson.
Yay.
Congratulations. Number 7, Andrea Roberts. 92, Lisa Jo McClellan. 123, Rahinder Kaur. 142, Suzanne Brophy.
Yay.
Now your list. Number 10, Anna Rakuya. I'm sorry if I'm slaughtering these names. Number 12, Arnetta Watkins. 96, Lori Johnson. 138, Stephanie Simmons. And number 1 is Abigail Mancera. Congratulations.
Yay. All right, you guys. So we'll be taking that list and you will be receiving an email with their certificate. So you'll need to fill that out, and all the qualifications for that bonus commission will be on there. But we're so happy for those of you that won. Thank you all for being here today. It has been such a pleasure. Please join me next week. We are going to have Ciso Moreno, who is going to share his love of Puerto Rico with us. So I hope you'll join me then. You guys have a great week. Stay warm, stay safe, and be sure to do something just for you. Have a great day, everyone.